Thanks for talking to us. I just wanted to have you give an idea to folks what's happened in terms of service at the airport, since the COVID-19 emergency was recognized, kind of what the last couple of months have been all over the country. It seems like, you know, obviously the vast bulk of passengers have gone away.
Right. Yeah, we have really, in March was going to be our banner month. We were up close to 51%. So we were doing good as far as first quarter of the year. We're still up year over year, but after the COVID-19 really ramped up, that's when we started to see a lot of the cancels. But each of the airlines are still flying to their destinations, but not as many frequencies. So we still have everybody flying daily, and it's evolving. We get canceled. They can cancel flights days before, weeks before. It depends on what the load factors are. But we're down pretty significantly. We're down close to 80% right now.
And that's not just you, that's everyone in Michigan and across the
Yeah,
nation.
correct.
So how are you adjusting the way that you operate in response to that? You've got, you're facing not having the same type of revenue from parking to landing fees, but you've still got a fixed expense. So can you tell people how it is that you're trying to adjust to that and see that happening?
Right, like I said, first quarter we were above budget. Revenues were above our budget. Parking revenues were through the roof, so we were doing real well. But that's our main focus is really our main revenues are coming in from the parking, landing fees, rents. They're not as big as what our parking revenues are. But yeah, we're taking a budget hit right now, and with the CARES money, we're hoping to backfill some of the lost revenues and operating costs. We got some debt service payments coming up, for bonds from building the terminal, but we're trying to offset that with the CARES money.
And what should people expect in the months ahead in terms of service? There's a lot of uncertainty out there, just in terms of will the same routes, will the airlines fly those same routes? And what should people expect when they, take a look at the menu as to what's going to be available to them?
Yeah, that's a good question, Ron. And I think really no one knows what the airlines are going to do. I mean, they're scrambling with their rate, with their structure on flying, on where they're going. You've seen in the paper, a lot of them filed exemptions through the Department of Transportation for not to fly certain routes, and a lot of them have been declined. But they're looking to do anything they can by even jumping around, going to different cities to try to fill aircraft. So we don't know really what's going to happen coming out of it. We're lucky so far that they're still flying their current destinations at least once or twice daily. But we're going to work with them as a partner, and we're going to do whatever we can to help get our service back.
Do you think that there's going to be a lot of consolidation of routes? You've seen some of that in terms of the airlines filing for exemptions, but as we come out of this in the months ahead, do you think it's going to look pretty familiar in terms of how often flights are available and where they're available to, or do we not know?
I think it's going to be pretty similar. Of course, the airlines with the big hubs, they're going to focus on their hubs. And one of our disadvantages with Delta is we're so close to Detroit Metro, and they're going to focus on Detroit. But we're going to do whatever we can to prove to them that the service is here out of Flint, that they can make money off of it. But yeah, I can see more of the airlines that have the big hubs. They're going to focus more on consolidation, and that's why they're doing the exemptions through DOT.
airports are going to be struggling, like so many other parts of the economy going forward. But do you see that there's the potential that Michigan could lose some airports, that they could shut down?
No, I think there's going to be a certain level of service that the airports are going to sustain, and maybe even new services. Things start to evolve. It's all depends on what the airline structure is going to be. In Flint, we have the big carriers, legacy carriers, and we also have Allegiant, which is our really bread and butter, and they're doing well. They're still flying to all their destinations, and we're hopefully that leisure traffic comes back. I think that's going to come back first before the business traveler. So that's what we're really betting on.
I was going to say, if leisure travel does come back first, you're in a pretty good position actually with the Allegiant flights.
Yes.
Can you just look ahead to the second half of this year, recognizing we've got so much unknown in the rest of the first half? And what's your hope, and what's the best case scenario moving forward, like in the second half of the year and even going into 2021?
What we're looking at is, we hope the leisure traffic comes back quicker. We know it's going to take a while. We have some ideas on how we can help the airlines. And you were on the board meeting where we did some abatements just to help them for 3 months to get them through this rough time throughout the summer till they get to September 30th. But I think we're going to pick up quicker than more airports just because of the leisure destinations we have. And I think it all comes down to the traveling public, what they're, how they feel, and if they feel like, it's safe to fly. And that's going to be a big part of it.
And what's your message to flyers? Will you be ready for them when they're ready to come back and fly?
Absolutely. We're ready now. But yeah, we'll be ready. Airlines, airports, they're the cleanest they ever been. I mean, you see our airport now, it's immaculate, and that's the standard now, and that's going to be a standard going forward. And everyone's taking safety precautions. It's just whether you have that confidence to fly. That's going to be the big thing. We're here to support it. We're here to ramp it up, get ready to go. But as the public responds and the airlines responds, we'll respond.
Great. Thanks very much. Appreciate your time, and appreciate you sitting down with us.
Thank you, Ron. Take care.
Thanks.